Energized show, up the Irish.
Okay, what's going on, guys? Welcome to a brand new episode of Energized One-2-Watch. Ross, introduce the guest.
We have Ireland's only IMMAF gold medalist from Bulgaria. It is Mr. Max Lally. Max, how are you doing? And how good does that gold feel?
We're up out of that, boys. Feels fucking amazing. Feels great.
Congratulations, Max. Before we get into things like, obviously myself and Ross were following the whole team, how they got on. I'm sure loads of people were, not just us two, obviously. But then, like, seeing yourself coming home with the win, with the gold, the only person in our, like, from the Irish team to come home with a gold. Now, the funny thing was you actually beat another Irishman in the final, which is even more crazy to believe. But coming home with that gold medal, on your 18th birthday or the day before, like, what has the last few days been for you?
It's definitely been not a dream, but I went over with the intentions of winning. I put my expectations up to that level. I feel like that I've been around the block, been doing the sport nearly 9 years now. Been doing it since I'm a young, like, you know what I mean? So I really fell short lots and lots of times before this, and I kind of really put my foot down, training almost 2 sessions every day, Monday to Saturday. And I really put my foot. I don't think I've ever trained as much for anything in my life, because I had that expectation of bringing a gold medal back. And it felt really good to do that, like really good. But I did have a few challenges put in front of me. I actually broke my foot in June, and I had to go, and I was training on a broken foot for like a few weeks. I had to get a cortisone shot put into it and just continue training. But it was like the mindset in my head was almost like, this is my time. You know what I mean? You've been at this long enough now. You need to grab this by the scruff of the neck. And I feel like that's what I done. You know what I mean? Even when I got there, it was almost like I was like fascinated, and I was like looking at the podium. I was picturing myself on top of the podium, and I was almost visualizing everything that he was doing. And this is like the day I only got there on the Wednesday, and I was fighting on the Sunday, and on the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, all them days I was just like visualizing myself on the podium. I was visualizing myself submitting people and beating people and walking around the cage. And it was like the day of the fight, it was like almost like, it was like, okay, you're going to be on the top of that podium by the end of the day. And I just believed in myself that much that I couldn't even talk. I wasn't even talking to anyone or that, and everyone was looking at me like, who's this fella? Even all the like Kazakhstanis, Bulgarians and all, they were like kind of like, when I was walking around, I was in the zone with my earphones and all on, they're all looking at me being like, who's this fella? Because before that, the Irish were doing good, but I don't think they were going through the amount of people that I went through or the amount of people Jordan went through. You know what I mean? I feel like when they seen me and Jordan going through everyone, they were like, okay, these are
lads aren't here to take part.
100%. It was really, really, really enjoyable experience though, going away with the Irish team. It's the first time I've ever got to represent Ireland with a group of individuals and not myself. Sometimes I just go away for jiu-jitsu competitions. I'd be kind of by myself. But it was a really, really good experience.
Yeah.
And one thing I will say, go on, Basil.
No, I was going to say, like, Max just brought up one of a quote that he posted on his Instagram there after he won the gold medal. I just read it, like, you're giving people shout outs from the team to everything. And you did mention that you'd lost previously when, like, and you felt down. And then I think that is the main thing that every good champion has. They lose, maybe it doesn't have to be the highest levels, but you lose and then you just have to keep going and going. You know what I mean? Like, nothing in life is worth anything if you're just handed it. If you have to work for something, you're going to treat that 100 times more. And like, it's unbelievable looking at yourself now. We've been like seeing your work, obviously training down with Roddy and like hanging out with Jared Harris and stuff, and then like just seeing you're putting in so much effort, like training, like even with Sergey, there's just a guerrilla squad going on there, like, you know what I mean? And then like coming out with the goal, it's you know what's so brilliant to see? You see someone working, putting their absolute bollocks, trying their hardest, putting all their effort into it, and they're coming on with the goods, and it's such a brilliant thing to see, especially from a country like Ireland, and especially the way we only got one gold medal and it was you.
Yeah, no, it's
congratulations, bud.
Yeah, thank you.
One thing I did want to ask Max is obviously there was a big chess game over there between yourself and Jared Harris. Who won that one?
Stop. See, I actually, believe it or not, I won a Leinster title in chess. I represented represented Meath because I live in Ashbourne, and me and a few of my mates, we played chess at school loads for years, from like first class right up until sixth class. We played chess, and we won a Leinster title. So I always play chess, always. And I remember Jer like kind of was smashing everyone in the gym. He goes up, "Yeah, boss, do you want the game?" I was like, "Yeah, no, but." We smoked them in the first game, and then after that, it started a little rivalry. Now the rivalry right now is I've won 3 games and he's won 2, so we still have to it's kind of the next one kind of decides if we continue the rivalry or not.
Oh, it's tight. It's tight as a top. I love it.
Yeah.
One thing I have noticed about yourself, Max, and I don't see it with too many Irish athletes, is you have almost like a split cross train between SBG Naas and SBG Charlestown. What way does that work out? Obviously, Owen Roddy, one of the best striking coaches in the world, and obviously Sergey, top-end wrestling coach. Obviously, you can see the attractions of both teams, but what is your split there in terms of your training times?
The split with training times is the way I see it, and the way I feel that every other athlete should see it, is that Owen has been my jiu-jitsu coach since I'm about 11 years of age, and Sergey's been my wrestling coach since 13 years of age. So there's a loyalty between the both of them. And for those 2 men, I do anything. That's simple as. I have a really good bond with both of them. Like father figures, both of them. I want to be exactly like them in a way. And the way I'd explain it is I go to both of them gyms as much as I possibly can. And I mix it going down to DCA, the Muay Thai club with Craig and Collie and all them lads.
Oh, we know those boys as well.
I think they're still on the run from Dubai.
Savage lads. Stop. But
you know what? Actually, I just want to jump in there, Max. That's a very much George St. Pierre-esque approach. That you find some of the most elite athletes in that respective sort of trade, and you go to them for that trade. It's impressive.
100%. It's like the way I see it is you're only going to get so far being in the same place all the time. I'm going around and I go to East Coast for jiu-jitsu. I go to Sergey's for wrestling. I go to Roddy's for MMA, grappling, striking. I go to DCA for striking. And I've really felt the development, not in my training, in how I perform in training, and clearly now in how I perform in competition. I felt it huge. I felt like I've almost jumped up a few levels in the past few months. And I really from January, I looked at that IMMAF tournament. At the time, it was in Turkey. I think it was in Istanbul in Turkey. And I said to myself, I'm going to train as hard as I possibly can for this 6 months. As hard as I can. And that's exactly what I did. And looking back at it, it's almost like I'm thinking to myself, it was like I missed out on so much. It was like I'm the type of young fella that people be going out partying, be going out doing all sorts. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing this. Everything I do evolves around the sport. And it always has. And I wouldn't want that any other way, because I'm simply like in love with what I do every single day. And it feels so good.
Sorry, Max, what is it about that you actually love? Is it you love like the camaraderie? Do you love like going training separate things? Do you like improving? Like what is it? Because you seem to be just having a bit of fun with it. I know, like I know obviously you went on and won the gold there, so it's more than just fun, but you seem to be having fun while doing it. You don't seem to be
definitely
forcing yourself to do it, you know?
No, not at all. Not at all. I get this feeling of satisfaction. And it's a satisfaction of when I do something. So, say for instance, in MMA, doing a session, I'll do a session, and then after a session, I have a little notepad, and I'll write down everything I did in that session. And from that session, I've loads of other notes. And I've a little notepad. It's nearly full. I need to get a new one. What I do is I link what I've done in previous sessions to the sessions I currently done, and I do that because I do lots of sequences. So sequences in striking, wrestling, wall wrestling, jiu-jitsu, and ground and pound. I'll link it all together. And it's almost like all my mates call me a little weird. I'm saying, oh, you're a bit too obsessed with this. Like, but it's actually like, it's genuinely like a weird obsession that I have. And it's when I'm in training camp as well, sometimes I have coaches telling me, yeah, Max, you need to stop training. Like you're doing too much. You're going to overwork yourself. Because I get mad aggro with myself. And I'll think that you're not training right now, and some fella in Russia's training, and he's gonna he's gonna beat you, or some fella in Kazakhstan's training, or some fella in Bulgaria's training, and I see it as they're not gonna outwork me at all. Like, I'm never gonna let anyone work harder than me, because if there's one thing, doesn't matter with technique, anything like that, I've heart, and I have a lot of heart, and I feel like that's gonna take me so far, not just in MMA, but just in life altogether. And I know for a fact that anything I'll do, I'll try my absolute hardest to do it until I get it perfectly in my own mind. Does that make sense to you? It's
That's a
almost
chess
like,
player. That's a chess player with the income coming out, you know.
Absolutely, Baz. I think this interview is coming out tomorrow, and Kieran's coming out the following day.
Yeah.
But if you actually listen to him in reverse, you'd swear Max Lally was on the call with Kieran Davern, because he was saying you just show up and you have to keep on getting better every day. And he was saying that, you know, when you were over at the IMMAF, you're saying that the Russians and the Ukrainians, you know what I mean, like, they're killers over there, and you have to have that mentality.
yeah.
And it's just very impressive to see someone as young as yourself with such like level-headed shoulders on them, and like so driven. And I love to see it. And I think just one thing that makes you different, and that's one thing that we always look out for, is sort of your adaptability and your awareness that, like, you go into different places, you'll pick up these new things. And Barry's a big fan of the pen and notepad, and he writes everything down for us. I'm real go with the flow, but Barry writes everything down. And but like, I need him to write everything down. Like, we would be where we are today unless he wrote everything down, because he even to do with like the guests that we have on each week of the show, I understand it from that point of view, because like he keeps us relevant with that pen and paper.
Yeah, no, I feel like as well as that is, you need to write stuff down to actually see what you're doing. Unless sometimes I'll have Sergey around observing what I'm doing, pointing out what I'm doing wrong. But sometimes I feel like you have to do it yourself as well. You can't have everyone doing it for you. So I find that's a bit of almost like you're doing it for yourself for improvement. You know what I mean? So I look up all the best people in the world. I look up how Conor moves. I look up how Khabib moves. I look up how my particularly favorite at the moment is how Corey Sandhagen, how he moves in striking exchanges, how the likes of Chad Mendes would move in wrestling exchanges. And what I do is I hand select one thing in a session. So recently I've been working lots and lots and lots on cage pressure. So what I'll do is I'll hand select one thing and I'll hand select one takedown. And I'll see if I like doing it and it feels good. So I've been doing a few things. I've been doing Islam Makhachev and what he does against the cage. And I've been mixing that in with my training. And what I'll do is I'll do that for a session. I'll do it for another session. And what I'll do is I'll probably give it 3 or 4 sessions. And I know myself if it fits into what we do. Make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. You seem like the ultimate student of the game, Max.
You do, Max. You do, Max. Like, it's quite impressive. Yeah, but like that's why we have you on. That's why we're having people tune in. Like, I mean, you're saying stuff there about writing stuff down. If someone wants to achieve gold in anything, I mean, like having a direct plan and written down like thoughts, that's going to help you more than like just writing on your phone your notes and come back a year later and be like, oh, Jesus.
I still forgot to feed the dog.
Feed dogs. It's like, okay. Feed new dogs.
But Max, obviously your goal is, I assume, is to go pro in the end and like make this a career out of it.
100%.
This obviously you have your first up and coming amateur fight, your debut coming up. How do you feel about that? And obviously it's going to be totally different to the IMMAF. You know what I mean? You'll have strikes to the head, strikes on the ground. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, sorry, for people that don't know, that's going to be on September the 5th on IUR Fighting Championships. It's going to be live pay-per-view as well.
Perfect. Well, I feel really good for this because I feel like in the IMMAF was very limited what I was able to do. I feel like that I could have definitely finished a lot more people if I was able to strike to the head. If it was proper amateur, I feel like I would have finished everyone. 110%. I feel like that everyone sees me and it's like, he's a grappler, you know what I mean? And that's what I'm known as. But I feel like that what I've been working on over the past few months, you're gonna see me fight September 5th, and it's gonna be like, okay, this fella's not just a grappler. I've been working lots on striking, clinching, everything. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to really, really showcase the past few months, because the past few months have been game changing for me. And I'm really, really looking for against a really good opponent. He's I think he's 4-6, 5-6. He's a lot, and I wanted to make sure that for my amateur debut, I didn't want to come across another debut. I wanted to show that what I've been doing the past few years and what my skill level is at. I want to showcase that then everyone in Ireland, everyone in the UK, and I want to really, really put everyone on notice. September 5th. That's my plan. And believe it or not, even when I was over at the IMMAF, it was like I was partly thinking about that as well. So I kind of fantasize. I'll be like, okay, after I win gold, you're going straight back to the gym today, Wednesday, and what you're going to do is you're going to go train and work on these set of things. You're going to work on striking. So your man's a southpaw. I'm going to working on striking and southpaws. I'm going to be really, really focused in on this opponent. It's going to be a laser focus.
And Max, was that a bit of Paul Fogarty magic not announcing the fight till after the IMMAFs, was it?
No, believe it or not, the way I see it is you have to focus on one thing at a time. That's simple as you can't be focused on 3 things at the one time.
Yeah.
I always get over carried and pause like, here, Max, you're gonna wait to the IMMAF. Stop thinking about this fight. But part of me, I can't help it. Like, you know what I mean? That's like, I'm almost like, in my head, I'm like, I have a fight September 5th and I'm in Bulgaria, fucking getting ready to fight a lot of different nations, like, you know what I mean? But I went into Paul, I think the night before I flew out, and I was talking about the fight, and he was like, you cop on, you're going out to Bulgaria tomorrow, like, you know what I mean? So, but he's right. I feel like in the same way, been really blessed to have Paul. He really does help me out with training, mindset, everything. And sound guy altogether, like, you know what I mean?
Max, I'm not going to lie. This has been a massive 2 weeks in your life that you'll probably look back and go, geez, that was a roller coaster. You know, you sign One Hit Management, you go off to the IMMAFs, win gold, you announce your debut fight, and you turn 18 on the last 2 weeks. Like, that's a lot for any 18-year-old to take on, but like, absolutely incredible. Each one an achievement in their own right. Like,
it's turning 18 into the achievement.
It is an achievement.
The way I see it is,
only because training in SPG Charlestown is full of killers, you know. You're looking to make past 17.
Yeah, no. And that's like, as I was saying about Roddy and Sergey, I'm very lucky to have both of them in my corner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be where I am without Roddy, Sergey. They're after really, really putting a lot of time and effort into me, and as I said, I can't thank them 2 men enough.
Yeah, but look at all the experience they have, Max, as well. Like, being at the biggest stages, man, and you're only at the beginning, but like your background is now like MMA. It's like, whereas a lot of people would have came in from being a black belt or a kickboxer or like back in the day. Now you're like a fully fledged mixed martial arts. It's just like, I mean, you're not that you're so lucky, but it's just like, it's an amazing thing that you have at your doorstep.
100%,
now, yeah,
definitely.
Man. And then look at getting the gold as well, man. It's like,
like
your next few years are going to be so interesting. That's why obviously we had to get you on the One-2-Watch, but I mean, the next few years are going to be unreal. And even the way people are tuning in now, listen to you only have to turn 18. Like, I'm sure there's like 30-year-olds listening to this, be like, geez, he's smarter than me.
And then on top of that, Basmo, the best version of Max Lally that you'll probably see is probably the pro version, where you can throw the elbows on the ground, you can throw the elbows on the feet, and like, especially if he's training DCAA, you know those elbows are coming.
100%.
So, like,
you know that cutting and the hurting.
Yeah.
You're only probably getting, even as an amateur MMA fights, you're probably only getting 70% of the best version of them, because you can't go full Lally on them.
Definitely, especially. Sure, I've been out at the Henzos and all in New York, and before I actually kind of probably got into MMA, I was doing a lot of jiu-jitsu, and when I was starting to slowly catch up on a few brown and black belts. I was submitting, like, as a blue belt. I'm still a blue belt. People don't believe me when I say it, but at the time, I still am, but like, in the same way, just in a jiu-jitsu perspective, I felt like I was at a really, really high level. And I decided to pursue MMA purely because of COVID. When COVID hit, it's the only reason I decided to do MMA. I reckon if COVID didn't hit, I'd still be doing just jiu-jitsu. It was purely, and tell you what it was, only reason I started MMA was because it's the only training that was happening. The only thing we were training. No one was doing jiu-jitsu.
There you have it. We thought we did well out of the pandemic, Basmo. Max Lally might become a UFC world champion now.
I know, I'm sort of in shock right now. I'm like, this like, I mean, at 18, I didn't really know what the fuck I was going to do. I don't think I think during COVID, I totally turned my life around and like really knew what direction to go in. So like, you've a good few years, but like just knowing what you're doing, it's a pretty safe option, you know, Max?
Yeah, no, I feel like that lots of young players nowadays, they don't really know what they want to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So every day I wake up, I just thank whatever. I don't really believe in God or not, but I believe that there's something there guiding me, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? And I thank that. We call it spirit. Everyone thinks I'm believing. My mom thinks I'm a weirdo. She's kind of believes in God and all that. But I think there's something there guiding me in which way I need to go. And I thank it every day for
But if
finding
that's
me
what you
purpose.
believe in, that's all you need sometimes. You know what I mean?
That's it.
Well,
I feel like you have to believe in something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, even look at the way your dad's like looking after you and what he's doing as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you're looking up to people that are actually doing positive things for the community. So I mean, that's only good for you as well. And you're just still developing as well. Like, can you tell us this? Like, obviously, you had so many messages from getting gold on your birthday. I'm sure some people didn't even know you won gold, and some people didn't know it was your birthday. But what was the best message you received off anyone? Like, what was the one message, whether it be for either or?
Tell you what, it was actually texting me ma telling her that he won. That was the best thing.
What she say? Who's this?
she all my family were they were all an emotional wreck. But the bed that was that the whole enjoyment was to see that after I left the cage, I was on such a high, and then I just started crying, and I don't even know why I started crying because I'm not a crier, you know what I mean? I'm not really an emotional person, but it was the best thing was I got a photo taken of me and my dad, and it was the moment I left the cage, and I just seen him. I was like, "Give me a hug, boss." And he just whispered in my ear, he's like, "You're a world champion now." And I just started crying. And I don't know why, but I think it was because, as you said, I felt so short on so many occasions. I've had so many setbacks in jiu-jitsu, in everything, just in life altogether. And I was just, that moment in time, it was like, it's finally after paying off. Sometimes you do get into a bit of doubt. You're almost like, is it worth it what you're doing? Like, sometimes I'd be in school, and I sometimes just be sitting in school, and I'm like, I can't even focus in school because I'm thinking about what I'm going to be eating before training and what I'm actually going to do in training. Make sense? It's like 24/7, 24/7. You know what I mean? Just every single hour, every minute, every second, I'm just thinking to myself, how can I get better? And what can I do to make myself better?
I think
that's what you have to do to be great.
That's the thing. I think people who have never actually found something they're passionate about don't understand that obsession, don't understand that desire to thrive and do better. And 100%. I think that's something that, you know, is blatantly obvious in yourself. Max, is there any last thing you want to say before we have a quick look at UFC 265 this weekend?
I'd just like to thank my two coaches, Sergey and Alan, for everything they do for me all the time, they put into me. Like, thank Paul. I'd like to thank everyone out of SBG Charlestown, SBG Nice, and DCA for everything they did to me throughout the training camp, and all my teammates as well. I wouldn't be as good as I am, wouldn't be as motivated as I am without everyone I train with. I'm just really grateful at the moment for the people I have around me, and I'm looking forward to the future because I feel like I really am only getting started. So.
Yeah, we're actually very proud of you, bud. Like, we actually sent a message to your dad as well, saying like you should be super proud and everything. Just like, this doesn't happen often. Like, and also the Olympics were there, and we mentioned as well, Team Ireland weren't actually allowed to train with each other. So if they're like our own board is trying to sabotage us, like it's a fucking joke.
It was a joke.
Like they can stop you, but you still came up with the gold, you know. But like,
there was literally I think we did 3 sessions. They're like 3 weeks. We did sessions together, and then it was like, I think it was whatever bleeding the Irish sporting kind of body. They said we couldn't train with each other, so that straight away gave us a disadvantage. Whether you have the countries funding Russia and all that, get sending them away, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
they were like bronze medals only, lads. Bronze medals only. And Max Lally was like, "Fuck that."
Fuck that. But we were actually really lucky for Conor to send everyone. Like, not everyone would do what he did, and from that, he produced a world champion in myself, and for that, I'm really grateful for Conor, and I thank him. Like, I have endless.
Watch it sometime, so he'll know.
Yeah, he probably will watch this one. He watched a few. He watched it. He's checked out a couple of them. Yeah.
Yeah, deadly. No, but seriously, I have endless amount of respect. And when anyone ever tries bad mouth them to me, I'll always stick up for him, because what he did, he sent away 27 athletes to represent Ireland on the world stage. And what we were doing was we were looking for sponsors, trying to fund ourselves. And I was fortunate. I have lots of good sponsors behind me, like MSL Skoda, Dara O'Malley.
I bought a car from there.
Yeah, and like all of them, and I'm just really, really grateful for the people I have behind me. But for Conor to swoop in and do that for us, it's just unbelievable, because you don't see anyone else in the world doing that.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't think if it was for Conor, I don't think you'd be giving us a career as well, to be honest.
No, but it's just really, really good to see for someone at his standard, someone at his, like, he's a big superstar across the world, and he sees a bunch of lads and ladies training hard, doing the sport they love, and he decides to sponsor each and every single one of them and
You know
send
what?
them away.
It's a beautiful
people
thing.
People can say what they want about him, but his level of philanthropy in Ireland is unmatched by any sports star of all time.
Unmatched.
So, like, you can say what you want, but when it comes down to it, he's got a good heart and he puts it in the right place sometimes. And on this occasion, he's given Irish athletes a chance to do what they love and not have their parents have to worry about putting their hands in their pocket to sort them out.
Exactly. And I couldn't have, the way I see it with Conor, he's a proud Irishman. That's what he is. That's how I'd explain him. He's proud of his country. And sometimes you get a few dopes. Yeah, know what?
Yeah, for ahead.
Like Conor, it's like he's going away and he's fighting the best in the world. And sometimes you still hear dope saying, "Oh, he's done this, he's done that." This, like, the way I see it is, I will have respect for any man or woman that goes away and represents their country in the best way possible, and I'll have respect for it, because it's a big thing to do, and it's something you should be proud doing. I feel like Conor's proud going away representing his country every time he goes and fights, and that's where the respect, that's where all the respect comes from, and on top of everything he's done for the sport and everything he's done for me, because as a result, I'm a world champion more or less because of him. You know what I mean? In that type of way. That's my first world title. As soon as I get, every time I'm gonna remember, I'm gonna look at this medal, I'm gonna remember it, I'm gonna say that's because of Conor. You know what I mean?
Can you show us a bit closer the medal as well for people on Spotify? You're gonna have to go on YouTube. Yeah, show us the back as well. Does it have your name in it?
Playing the back now. I'm gonna get my name engraved into it though, and I'm gonna get a friend.
Definitely do. Speaking of first world championships, and speaking of Conor McGregor, UFC 265 this weekend goes down in Houston, Texas. It's for the interim UFC heavyweight title between Cyril Gane and Derek Lewis. Max, we'll go straight in with the main event and straight to you. Tell us, what do you think of this fight, and who do you see coming out with the win?
Now, I have I love Derek Lewis.
Who doesn't?
The most entertaining person, and it's almost, he's that entertaining. I've never heard anyone say I don't like Derek Lewis. He's just one of those fighters. I want Derek to win, realistically. But at the same time, I feel like that in France, I feel like France MMA is very underrated. They have a few savages out there. You know what I mean? But I feel like that Derek, I've seen a huge improvement, especially in his cardio in his past few fights. I've seen such an improvement. I think that he gets a 4th round knockout. That's what I think. I think that he's going to get absolutely boxed around for 3 rounds, and out and hour he's going to pull out something and knock your man out.
Basmo?
What do you think?
No, see, I think the UFC would obviously want to see Cyril Gane win, and then potentially put him against Francis Ngannou. Like that would blow the roof off. Somewhere possibly in France or wherever you want to have it. Derek Lewis, I agree. Like his cardio, you've seen him moving now. He seems more agile, whereas before he sort of just plodded around the place.
Yeah.
But I think this could be a bit of a Derek Lewis and Ngannou sort of thing, like just sort of not as entertaining. Now, I don't even like saying that, but I think he could just sort of meet his match, sort of go back to the drawing board and build himself back up like Ngannou. Literally at Ngannou 2.0. So that's why I go for Derek Lewis. But I think Gane against Ngannou would be brilliant. Ross?
You know what? I'm going to go 3 for 3 on Derek Lewis. I think people need to put a bit of respect on that man's name. If he wins via knockout against Cyril Gane, which is the way he tends to win, he'll have the most knockouts in UFC history. And I think he's the man to beat. I think what's going to happen is you'll probably see Cyril Gane win the first 2 rounds. He'll probably throw 3 or 4 times the amount of strikes that Derek Lewis will do. But he's got that light switch in his hand, and he will knock out Cyril Gane. And he'll make that UFC heavyweight belt look small.
Would you say then if it would be Lewis and Ngannou next, yeah? Because John Jones doesn't seem like he wants anything right now, you know?
John Jones and Stipe Miocic seem to be out in the cold with the UFC brass.
Yeah.
All right. Obviously, there was the co-main event. It was after being pulled for the women's bantamweight title.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, I changed the screen so I couldn't see it. But in the co-main event, Jose Aldo is taking on Pedro Munoz in the bantamweight division. Ross, we'll start with you. Jose Aldo, Pedro Munoz. What do you expect from here?
I think they're still fighting the dog left for Jose Aldo. I think over 3 rounds, it suits him even more. I think he's a very hard man to beat in a 3-round fight. I expect him to win the unanimous decision on this occasion. I just don't think Pedro Munoz, as good as he is at the elite, and I don't think he can beat Jose Aldo if you're not the elite of the elite. What about you, Max?
Yeah, Max, first of all, where were you or what age were you when Conor knocked out Jose Aldo as well?
I'll never forget it. It was near Christmas, I remember. December 12th, I think it was.
UFC 194.
Sure. Yeah, I remember it as clear as day. And I remember sitting down, man, looking at the Christmas tree, because our Christmas tree was up very early, because that's the type of weird family we are. And I remember sitting down. And as soon as I sit down, I was like, I hit the couch and I was jumping back up and I was like, yes. I'll never forget that. And I was like, Dad, I'm not gonna know. And my dad was like, no, we couldn't believe it. I've looked at Jose Aldo I always, believe it or not, looked at before Conor, before he fought Marcus Brimich in the UFC, I seen Conor fight on Cage Warriors and before what?
Against Ivan Bunchinger.
Yeah. I remember the slip in the left hand. But I always watched Anderson Silva and Jose Aldo. Those are the 2 I always used to watch in the UFC. Because I knew the UFC was the elite of the elite. I used to have the I can't remember the game. But I always remember me and my cousin Sean. He had it on his Xbox. And I'd always be Anderson Silva and he'd always be John Jones. And we'd always just be fighting each other on the Xbox 360. And that's when I really start watching Anderson Silva. And from Anderson Silva, I start watching Jose Aldo. And I'll never forget when he fought Uriah Faber.
Kick the leg off.
Put him on crutches, you know what I mean? And I knew he was up against a tough Jose Aldo. In my opinion, the best. As he was unbeaten for over a decade. And he did it in 13 seconds.
Yeah,
you know
that was unreal.
You know what's funny? Jose Aldo was younger than Pedro Munoz.
Is he?
Yeah.
By how much?
For like a month. But still.
Jesus Christ. Jose's been around a long time as well.
Max, how's this one end?
How's this one end? I feel it's a dominant 3-round decision to Aldo. I feel like that Aldo has 3-4. I feel like what's going to happen is, I know Garbutt's going down to never mind. Garbutt's going on to flyweight.
Yeah.
I feel like I'd love to see Cody Garbutt against Jose Aldo. That was the fight I was hoping to see. But at bantamweight, if he's moving down to flyweight, I doubt that'll happen. I feel like
give us Cruz. Dominic Cruz versus Jose Aldo. I'll watch that.
I'd watch that, definitely.
I want Aldo to win and then fight TJ Dillashaw. That'd be good.
I feel like TJ beat him. What I'd love to see in bantamweight, I'd like to see Sean O'Malley step up and fight a kind of a high caliber opponent. I'd like to see Sean O'Malley against Aldo because I think Aldo would smash him, personally.
Definite possibility anyway.
That would be a possibility. Well, here, look, and we'll just look at one more fight this week as well. That's not to be missed.
Faz, give us your quick prediction for that one.
So Jose Aldo, and then potentially find TJ Dillashaw after. Max, your division, Michael Chiesa is taking on Vicente Luque in the welterweight division. What are you expecting from this as well?
Luque, is that the guy that's called Hands? No, is it the Hands Down? Is it? I've seen him have a few.
Luque beat Woodley by Bravo choke in the last fight. His last fight.
Oh yeah, I remember. Oh yeah, I do. I remember that. I'm actually not a welterweight. I'm a lightweight. Just to say, I just wasn't
Just
asked.
fighting the welterweight.
Yeah.
Well, like I had to say, it was your division there.
Big boys, Jesus
Man,
Christ.
you have a gold medal there that says otherwise,
Yeah.
right?
The options were heavyweight. The options were heavyweight, bantamweight, or welterweight. So I had to say this one was your division. Like.
Yeah, nah, I'm definitely not a bantamweight and a heavyweight. But I think Luke is too slick on the floor. I think that Michael Chiesa is he's a really good wrestler, really good pressure. I feel like that it'd be kind of that Michael Chandler, Charles Oliveira kind of thing. That's what I think it'll be. I think that we'll see the wrestling exchanges, and I feel like Luke will wrap them up with something. I'm gonna say second round submission by Darce.
Basmo?
I think Chiesa's going to win this, lads. To be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you as well, Basmo. I like Chiesa. I think
The
he's good at 170.
UFC, yeah, the UFC like Chiesa probably wouldn't have taken this fight unless he believed he could win it. I think he's going to try and take him down. But like, I mean, a majority of the time I'm wrong, so it doesn't matter. Lads, one more fight everyone has to watch out for is the main event in the prelims. It's Bobby Green against Rafael Fiziev. Like Fiziev is the definition of the Tasmanian devil in the octagon.
Yeah, he is the Matrix.
Also, sorry, a couple more shout outs. Friday, Michael Conlon's taking on Doheny in the boxing. Obviously, the BJJ Irish team and Great Britain team are taking on USA on Saturday. UFC 265 is on as well. And shout out to Clanmores on Sunday for everyone that's competing on that as well. Oh, also, shout out Brian Moore for winning on Bellator.
Oh, yeah.
Palahan for winning Callback Global. And Kiefer, we're always with you, man. Hard luck over in Bellator as well. So they're only the last shout outs I need to put out.
Max, do you have any shout outs you need to give?
Shout out to everyone that's with me. Shout out for everyone for the support. The support I got over the past few days, absolutely unbelievable. Couldn't even put it into words. The amount of thank yous, the amount of praise, the amount of everything that I got is just absolutely blown away. And I'm really happy. I'm really, really fortunate to have the country of Ireland behind me and everything I do. So, and good luck to everyone fighting on Clanmores as well. I'm looking forward to seeing them fights.
Well, there you have it, Max.
Yeah, so Max, just the last words for yourself. Like, what's the sort of plan for the next couple of months? Are you just head down, building up towards IU or fighting championships on September the 5th?
That's the plan. That's the plan.
That's it, man. Just keep doing exactly what you're doing. You know, all the results are paying off.
That's the way I see it. I see it one at a time. I'd like to. I'm gonna actually be doing. I think there's an Irish nationals in the IMMAFs as well for the lightweight spot. So I'm going to be fighting for that spot as well. But I'm just going to take it one at a time. A few little goals that I want to complete before the end of the year. I'm going to go away for the Nogi Worlds in Texas, IBJJF. I'm going to fight adult blue belt. And I'm going to do my absolute best to win. I want to go over to Texas and I want to try grapple, go over with, you ever heard of Tackett brothers in Jiu-Jitsu? Andrew and William Tackett. Legit guys. No. I fought Andrew Tackett in the Pan Ams in 2017 as a kid, and he submitted me really quickly. And ever since then, I've been kind of looking at him, and he's after really making a big bang in the jiu-jitsu scene now. He's fighting on all.
I know you're coming from
shows. Come on. I say it still smashed me, but I just want to go over and get my opinion. Get with the two most exciting kind of grapplers that I've been looking at recently. Of course, with I'm really friendly with Gary Town and all them over there. Not
very casual slip in.
That was very casual.
That was very casual.
Have to slip that in. Have to shout all my boys out in America.
Yeah.
All me mates in New Jersey as well. Cor Pellegrino, Francis Marshall, all the lads down there as well. I've been going over to America every summer since I'm about 9 years of age, and I've been training with these guys for a very long time as well. So.
Well, Max, I think that's the best way to sum up one to watch. You are definitely someone to keep an eye on going forward. And it's not just the gold medal, it's the work ethic, it's the skills,
chess.
It's everything. It's the
The
game of
chess.
chess.
The chess, the main thing.
Not the UFC fight picks though, not the winning picks.
Yeah. But guys, if you have watched this video, make sure to head over to Max's Instagram, give him a follow, make sure to like this video, leave a comment below on how proud you are of him, and give us a subscribe. And as always,
stay energized.
Energized show, up the Irish. Been sussing you guys a couple of times. I've seen a couple of clips. I think you've done some interviews with Dylan Moran and that I saw. So keep going, keep up the good work, guys.